Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
Medical Qigong Master David J. Coon, also my dad. I'm Bella. Okay, so today I'm going to be asking you some questions.
Yes.
Yes, okay, this is going to be
I
awesome.
love questions because I get to give answers and then we get to lead that back to a practice.
I love questions because I'm very inquisitive and I just love them. Okay, does Qigong heal the body?
Qigong can heal the body. In general, does it heal the body? Yes, there are different ways to say this. Keeping it simple, Qigong is an ancient form of exercise. It is very closely associated with martial art, even though some people agree, disagree with that. But even your most popular form of movement of Qigong is called Tai Chi, and it actually has martial art applications. So it's kind of a mix of movement and breath and martial art and meditation. Anyway, in general, it is a form of exercise. All exercise is good for the body. It can heal it of different conditions and so on. And there's a lot less impact with these types of practices than, for example, running and lifting heavy weights, especially if you have a shoulder injury or a knee problem, or you're 70 years old and you're having trouble tying your shoes. Then this is a very good practice to help you bring about healing to the body. It's also, when we talk about the medical Qigong aspect, it's also a very good healing modality for specific conditions. I have high blood pressure. I have back pain. I have low back pain. I have mid back pain. I have neck pain. I have Parkinson's. I have this type of cancer. There are specific practices within the medical Qigong disciplines that can address different conditions.
Thank you so much. I have another question.
Yes.
Do you mind?
No, please.
Okay, great.
Bring it.
Can Qigong heal trauma?
Yes. So this is an excellent question. It's also more complicated. Um, so I'll do my best to say something simple and be as succinct about it as I can. Trauma is, of course, painful memories, emotion held in the tissues, also held in the energy system, also held in what we would call the emotional body, or what modern day spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body. We hold this, and it is in our body. It's literally in the tissues of our musculature, but it's also in the energy that is holding it there. And so releasing this requires some skill. And so, in general, Qigong can help uplift some of that, but I think it's also important to find a teacher who understands trauma specifically, because it's very important that you understand principles, for example, such as grounding and opening up. You can't just have opening up when you have trauma. Imagine just going and opening up all of your wounds and your trauma is up. And now, like, what are you going to do with it? It's very difficult for people to even go back to work. So, one of the things that we do in the way that we teach and the way that I teach and practice and so on is that we have to teach people first to get grounded and be empowered. Be grounded and be in their feet. In fact, we just talked about this. I just taught a little mini workshop and I talked to some of the participants who came afterwards and asked me some questions about this. And I said, there are so many healing programs out there that are trying to do good things for people. But one of the dangers, in what I see anyway, is that sometimes, for example, they do a 4-day program. They open these people up, open up their heart and get things wide open, and the trauma starting to come out. But maybe there's not enough practice of, how do I practice grounding, getting rooted in my body, in my emotions, etc. And then how do I manage that when I go back to the workplace? Because most people are going to go back to the workplace. Most people are going to go back home. They go to the retreat, then what do they got to do? They got to go back to work. So one of the things I love about Qigong and also various forms of martial art, there is a large emphasis on being grounded and connected to earth. Way easier said than done. but there are practices that can build up our power in that. And then imagine if the wind is blowing on me, right? Well, if I don't have any roots, I'm out of here. So I have to learn to have roots, and I have to learn, what is this called? In general, this is called being yielding. Learning to be yielding here, but here very grounded and very strong and very rooted. This is absolutely a physical practice, but it is simultaneously a psychological practice and an emotional practice. And this is something that I would highly recommend when it comes to understanding how you can work with Qigong and trauma. From here, you can go further, you can go deeper. But without this, in my opinion, it's dangerous unless you're going to kind of take a huge time out, have a huge retreat, or have a lot of therapy along the way. Okay.
How often should I do Qigong?
That varies tremendously. You could do 5 minutes a day. You could do 5 minutes every other day. You could do an hour a day. Is the question I saw earlier, right? Is can somebody practice too much qigong? Yes. In the same way that can somebody do too much running? Yes. If you run too far, the most you ever run is a mile, and you run 5, you're going to be sore, and it's going to take you a while to recover. It's the same thing with qigong. So you want to build up to it slowly, find something that works for you. That's why most of our sets start off with like some 20-minute routine or less. We might have like a 10-minute to a 20-minute routine. I think something like that is very good for a beginner to start with. And then, of course, if we back up even further, it would be like a 5-minute routine, then maybe a 10-minute, then maybe a 20-minute. Then over time, a person can get better at this, because earlier the question was asked, does Qigong cause detoxification? Yes, it does. So you don't want to do too much too fast. In the same way, if I go for a run, it is going to cause detoxification, but I only want to do a little bit so that my body can then recover. So you have to be smart about it. You have to be wise about it. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Final
So
bow.
much. Thank you so much.